Word nerds, visualize your vocabulary, volume 2. Let's make a picture of it. It'll definitely last longer. Turn any SAT or ACT word into a picture and remember it forever. Alright, let's get started with. First word here is malleable. Malleable. Malleable is an adjective, and it just basically means be able to flexible, to mold it into something. Usually it's all we use that for metals, but in this case, I guess clay works as well. You remember this with this. There's this man who at an auction who just really wants this crazy clay, the precursor to Play-Doh. And so he went ahead and spent $5 million on an authentic first can of crazy clay, which went ahead and became pretty popular until Play-Doh came along. Alright, next up we have dilatory. Dilatory is an adjective, and this just basically means to go ahead and linger. When you're lingering something, that just basically means that's great too. So here, the son, this is called Junior. The dad has tucked in Junior, but Junior doesn't want to go to sleep yet. So he asks his dad to tell him a story. His dad tells him a story. He's not satisfied. And so, well, he goes ahead, keeps asking for another story, and again, trying to keep off the inevitable. I'm pretty sure he spent like a few hours talking about it before Junior became a little tired. Next up, we have frigid. Frigid is an adjective, and this just basically means to go ahead and become aloof. Now, frigid here, if there's someone here who's actually frigid, that just basically means that person is pretty cold and very distant. Speaking of which, with that, you can figure out things that will work out here too. Ed here, remember with Fridge Ed. Ed here loves fridges. He's an expert in fridge salesman and repairman. In fact, whenever it's another electrical appliance, another house appliance, he will probably be not even interested one bit. So he'll go ahead and be frigid for a while. And then once they start talking to him, well, about fridges, he goes ahead and will become in a happy mood and talk about it all day long. Fridges are the only thing he likes. And if no one else wants to talk about fridges, well, he's sad. Alright, next up we have obliterate. Obliterate is a verb, and this just basically means to go ahead and you're annihilating something. You're annihilating that person too. It's annihilating whatever. Obliterating something is annihilating that thing, to destroy it, to make it disappear. So there's this rake who went ahead and was missing a few prongs, and so the owner of the rake went ahead and got a new one, which was perfect. The old rake was kind of jealous because, well, now it just goes ahead and stands on the wall all day. So he went ahead and destroyed the old man's garden while the old man was gone. What an evil man! Rake. Alright, next up, we have to talk about by the way, you remember that last one with old bitter rake. Next up, we have invert. Invert just basically means to flip. Such as you're flipping yourself upside down, that's inverting you, or switching things from one to each other, where it should be one of the others. So you remember this with it hurts. The mad scientist made his assistant go in this little machine he created. He bolts the door, and then he sets the parameters, and then presses on. And then when the assistant comes out, his head is the wrong way, he's looking backward, his legs, well, they're where his arms are supposed to be, and his arms are where his legs are supposed to be. And so he's all like, what the hell, it hurts! And the mad scientist is like, ooh, this isn't what I wanted to happen, but how do you feel? It hurts! Like, a lot. And of course, I think the mad scientist does not regret this at all. Next up, we have effervescent. Effervescent, this just basically means ever pleasant. You remember this effervescent with ever pleasant, because this just basically means fizzy. Fizzy drinks are effervescent. So whenever you try to drink a Coca-Cola, you're drinking effervescent kind of drinks. Alright, now you say, go ahead and drink ever pleasant drink. It's very effervescent, and it will make you go do this. That's a pretty good advertisement. Next up, we have pedestrian. Pedestrian is a noun and an adjective. An adjective, it just basically means you're very unimaginative. And a noun being a person who walks. So I'm guessing you always call it a boring person. Now, the pedestrian here, so we have this, you remember this with bad equestrian. Now, this guy decided to be an equestrian. He wants to ride a horse. He gets himself in riding gear, and then he tries to get on the horse, but then everything is in the wrong way, and so he goes ahead and keeps falling off. So instead, he just walks by it, like a bad equestrian. Alright, next up, we have infamous. Infamous just basically means you're famous for doing something wrong. Here, you remember this with disgraceful. It actually is disgraceful, and you remember it with infant mouse. The infant mouse has got an infamous reputation. He can do anything, anywhere, anytime. He's so strong. He's so strong. That he's so smart, but he's still so strong. He can still go ahead and beat up a cat, even though he's not even a week old. Lol. Alright, next up we have peruse. Peruse here just basically means to analyze something. Sometimes though it's also used to like glance at it quickly. Now, this person is a very bruise expert. He can go ahead, peruse bruise, and determine when the patient died and why the patient died. That's pretty impressive, Sherlock Holmes doctor. Next up, we have induce. Induce is a verb, and this just basically means to go ahead and activate something. You remember this with adduce. Now, the Queen of Hearts went ahead and finally induced some of these two cards. She gave birth to a deuce of hearts and a deuce of spades. And the father, the King of Spades, well, he is happy. And with that is practically it. So now, I hope to see you guys soon. Until next time, shout peace. Bye-bye. Induce, verb. Peruse, verb. Infamous, adjective. Petition, adjective and noun. Effervescent, adjective. Invert, verb. Obliterate, verb. Frigid, adjective. Dilatory, adjective. Malleable, adjective. Ta-da!